All right, everyone. So in a prior video, we covered Jeff Hardy making a pretty big claim that he would have been bigger than John Cena had he, done things right, basically in his younger years. And Matt Hardy talked about this. I think if Jeff would have been in the right headspace and had his act together like he does now, I think he could have been a top guy for a long time. I don't know if he would have been bigger than Cena, just because I don't know how Jeff's promos would have translated over. He's a very unique character. He's a very unique enigma. But like talking, especially at the time with Vince in charge, was a very important factor. There's something about him that just draws you to him. He has it, which a lot of people don't have. It would have been very interesting to see if he would have been in the headspace, how far he could have gone then. I definitely think he could have been a top guy and been a multiple time world champion. So we did our first video on this, and I love that we got a lot of feedback from listeners who were, they seemingly were taking a different stance than I was, which they were pretty clear. They thought he would have been bigger than Cena had that gone. And the point I was making was just that it's not that he could have never been big or he wasn't good enough to be that top guy. The question is the longevity, right? Could he have been like John Cena, somebody who was, that top guy for as long as Cena was? And I think Matt Hardy makes a little bit of my point in there. And I just want to read one quote he had. You know, I don't know if he would have been bigger than Cena just because I don't know how Jeff's promos would have translated over. He's a very unique character. He's a very unique enigma, but like talking, especially at that time with Vince in charge, was a very important factor. So that's in a way, I mean, it's not the exact point because I didn't bring up promos, but that to me is a little bit of what I'm talking about is Jeff Hardy, as good as he is, and he's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, to be that top guy like a John Cena, it's almost like these guys are like cookie cutter, right? These like Cody Rhodes. I mean, these guys are like cookie cutter baby faces, and Jeff Hardy was just a little bit different. And that doesn't mean he couldn't have, been super over and super popular, and he could have been bigger than John Cena. In my eyes, when I think back in history of WWE, I would say if you told me John Cena, how much do you love him and how much do you love Jeff Hardy? They're equal in my view. Jeff Hardy was one of my favorite wrestlers ever. I just don't know if he could have been that face of the company. But that doesn't really matter at the end of the day because he is in my personal opinion, he had something that a lot of guys don't have, which is that unique style. He was Jeff Hardy. There was nobody else quite like Jeff Hardy, and there's not a lot of wrestlers that can say that. There's a lot of wrestlers, and it doesn't take away anything from them, but that, they were like, okay, this guy's awesome, but we've seen like five or six guys like this through history that are, pretty similar to them. That's not Jeff Hardy. There was one Jeff Hardy. And I think that at the end of the day is more of a, kind of positive than saying, "Oh, I could have been, bigger than John Cena," because that's something not many people have. So thank you all for watching.